We started.
We are. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Still Dope. As you see, it's just me and Shahidah. Chris is living his best life in the city.
At a Yankees game after
He's at the
having
Yankees
tickets to the
game
Knicks game
right now.
yesterday.
Right? He did the Knicks yesterday, and now he's at the Yankees game. I hope he has better luck tonight than he had yesterday, because listen to me.
It broke my heart.
I'd be pissed off if I broke my ass to get all the way into Manhattan just for that shit show.
It really wasn't a shit show. I mean, they had 4 major players out and they hung in as best as they could. And then in the middle, because I missed a lot of it too, but Jalen breaking his hand, hitting his hand on a knee. It was heartbreaking. I was looking at like pictures of like Jon Stewart and them, towards the end of the game, and they looked so sad, but they had a great season. And honestly, you can't even shit on them for their performance. They did well. They did really well. It was just sad. It was sad. Because I was really rooting for them and the Celtics to play. That would have been a hard one for me. It would have been a hard one for me. But kudos to the New York Knicks. They had a great season, and hopefully we see them next year. Brunson, oh God, I love that man. Love that man. Anyway, it was a lot going on.
Stop bringing up the names, because I'm old school. I don't know none of them boys on the teams. Listen to me. When the game was going on, I was like clicking back and forth. I didn't watch the whole game. But I will say this. At one point of the game, I was like, is that Rick Carlisle? I'm an old bitch. I was like, is that Rick Carlisle, the coach of the damn Indiana Pacers? I was like, that looked like Rick Carlisle. And my cousin was like, yep, that's Rick Carlisle. And I'm like, well, goddamn. I don't know I knew all the old heads.
Yeah.
And then when they were showing all the old players on the sideline, I was like, is that Latrell Sprewell?
I didn't even see him. I heard people were telling me.
Please. I was like, look at Latrell, because at one point they were showing Rick Carlisle, and I was like, that's Rick Carlisle. And then they shot another segment, and then it was like this guy was on the floor and sitting in, where the rich people sit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is that Latrell Sprewell? It sure shit it was. I was like, oh damn. Yeah, so I was fangirling
the crowd
on the old heads in the crowd. The old players. Because them new players, I'm like, who that? Who's that? Yeah. Never heard of you.
It was tough. So that ended an already tough week, because shit was popping off last week. And we're going to start with who? Diddy. Gotta start with him. So my thing is, I never not believed Cassie. And I think we discussed this before on the podcast. Ego is a major killer here, because this man, when she first said that, she was going about this, she tried to keep it between the two of them. You should have just gave that woman her money. Just gave that woman her money, whatever she asked, because you knew what you did to her. But ego is bigger than anything. And that video was the most disgusting thing I have ever seen. I've seen some more disgusting things. It's up there. It's just up there, because abuse against women is just, par for the course.
That was equal to the Ray Rice video, when Ray Rice punched his wife in the mouth in the elevator. Remember Ray
I
Rice,
forgot
Baltimore Ravens?
about that. I forgot about that. That was what, in the
That
80s,
was that was
90s?
before COVID. That
But
was
wasn't
like
that,
that was like 2019.
yeah, it was.
Remember 2018, 2019?
Was it
It
that
was way
recently?
before
Why did
COVID.
I think that was like friggin' 1980 something? What the heck am I
No,
thinking about?
no, no, no. Ray Rice, no. That was in the 2000s, and it was like the high 2000s. I would say I'm pretty sure it's probably like I would say 20. I'm pretty sure it's probably like 2017, between 2017 and 2020.
Yeah,
That should happen.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's his wife. Not saying that it
yeah, because
should be
it's just
any
a
different
woman.
because it's
Hmm.
his wife as opposed to Diddy with his girlfriend. It ain't no different. It's just that
And men get away with it. You
they
know,
get away with
I
it.
mean, they get away with it. And I'm just like, you didn't think about anybody but yourself. That apology was the lamest shit ever. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about Diddy. I don't know. He
I know what to say
deserved
about Diddy. Diddy
everything
needs to
he
go to
did.
jail.
He's not. He's not going to go to jail.
Oh, he's going to jail.
You think so? For what?
Listen, he
Because one, didn't the
he
statute of
is
limitations run
everything.
out? Huh?
Hmm?
Didn't the statutes of limitations run out
We're
for
not
this
talking about.
particular?
We're not talking. Yeah, we're not talking about the Cassie thing. We're
Okay.
talking about when the SWAT and LAPD raided his house
Hmm.
recently and had his sons hemmed up, and they've got him on sex trafficking and like human trafficking, drug dealing, and the whole nine. He's going to do
Did
some
they
time.
ever say that though? Did they ever say? I know that they, for allegations of sex trafficking. I didn't hear about the drug trafficking, but I thought it was for allegations against sex trafficking. That's why they raided the house.
Yes, the drugs came from, I forgot the name of the kid. I forgot his name. I should have looked it up prior to recording, but whatever. There was a kid. He's a kid. He
That
he's
white kid,
legal.
that white boy.
The white kid. He
Mm-hmm.
was Diddy's personal drug mule. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was the provider of all the drugs, whether it be cocaine, whether it be ecstasy, whether it be oxycodone, whether it be fentanyl, whatever the drugs that these kids are using, Molly,
Mm-hmm.
the whole nine yards. He was the whole compound's drug dealer. He got arrested.
Oh.
He is in custody. Diddy needs to be worried about him because when that raid went down, they took that little white boy into custody because he had some cocaine on him. So they took
Mm-hmm.
him into custody. Now, you know that little 20-year-old white boy ain't going to
Mm-hmm.
do a bid for nobody. So I think they're priming him to flip and spill all the tea on what
Mm-hmm.
was going on in that house. That on top of, I think the feds, because remember when they raided his house, Diddy wasn't there, but they
Right.
put his son, his son Quincy, who is not really his son, it's Albie Shore's son with Kim
Mm-hmm.
Porter. Quincy wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was his other son, um,
Christian and Justin.
Christian and
And
Justin,
Justin.
that they
Mm-hmm.
had in handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, they are going to hem Diddy up and be like, look, your sons were in the house that we raided. So, sex trafficking or human trafficking, what are you going to do? You're going to take it for your sons, or we're going to put your sons in jail for human trafficking. Period. End of story. This is the game that law enforcement plays. You understand what I'm saying? I can see them not saying that it's right, But
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I can
But I
see
don't
them
even
going
see
to
that
him
they
and
would have
saying,
grounds for it for the sons unless they were actively participating in it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That seems like a hard stretch for me, but because I know specifically that they claim that when they do raid a house, they always handcuff the people in the house. And I don't think that's altogether true. You know,
exactly,
I
no,
think they were doing a little extra for the cameras by bringing those kids into it. I mean, but I don't think his sons are all that innocent either. So I'm
no,
not caping for them because I think especially that Christian, the one that looks just like Diddy. You know, it seems like there's a lot going on with him. And I mean, did you hear the diss song that he did to 50? And then 50 did a diss song back to, well, he didn't really do a diss song back to him. He just made a joke out of it. But this boy does not want to deal with 50. He doesn't. I don't like 50 at all. But I mean, he will light that kid on fire. So he needs to keep his mouth shut and not go
yeah.
after Diddy.
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
after
say
50.
you're not on 50's level, regardless of
Not
how you feel
at
about 50
all.
as a lyricist and as a rapper. Period.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
You're just Diddy's son, as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
Period.
And he don't care about no young boys. He go after his own child on social media. He will eviscerate that kid. So he just needs to stop. But
Yes.
I don't know. That is it's a possibility. We none of us really know anything
No.
other than especially the abuse stuff. The raid, there's just a lot of speculation, and I'm just like waiting to see what the law enforcement actually says. And they've been kind of like quiet on it. This even the sexual trafficking, it's just why are you so stupid? Why would you get involved in this? It's like because your life it could be almost perfect. You can have any woman you want. You know, you can do anything in this world that you want to do, go any place in the world, not have to worry about money. You pave the way for yourself and others. You know, you are a smart, brilliant musician or producer or whatever. Why would you be out here beating on women, sex trafficking women, if that's the case? Just any of this illegal activity, it makes no sense. It makes no
It doesn't
sense.
make sense. Here's the thing. Again, I'm not trying to defend the man, but I will say this. When it comes to people like us,
Mhm,
that people that look like us, that get to that type of level,
mhm.
you always have to, and it's sad to have to say this, but you just because you have that power and just because you have that money doesn't mean that you can act like them,
Mhm.
because at any given moment, any flinch of impropriety, they are coming for you. They did the SWAT. Jeffrey Epstein was a monster. He literally trafficked human beings and trafficked young girls. They just let him turn himself in. There was
But
no
they did
pomp and
raid
circumstance.
his house in Florida. They did raid his
Yeah, but
house.
did they do it on the level of P Diddy? Because I don't remember seeing that shit.
I remember seeing it. I
Oh
remember
well,
seeing
I
it.
didn't see that shit. Because
Mhm.
I'm saying to myself, why this have that same energy
Mhm.
for like a Harvey Weinstein and a Jeffrey Epstein?
Mhm. They did have it for Epstein, but how long did it take for them to get that kind of energy towards him? The same thing with Diddy. Look how long it's taken for them to
True.
even have that energy. He got a from what people are saying, and this is what disgusts me even more about like the whole Diddy situation is people are saying, "Oh, I knew X, Y, and Z, and I knew this, and I knew that." Then you're just part of the problem.
Yeah.
So you just need to shut your mouth. So it seems like he's been doing this since he stepped out at 20 years old, that he has
Yeah.
been abusive. He has been, this close to breaking the law on all kind of things. And look, they turned look at Donald Trump. Everybody knew that he was a crook in New York City. Everybody says it. He wasn't paying people. He wasn't. And what did the attorney general in New York do? Nothing ever until
Nothing.
now. So look how long it takes for them to finally say to a person with money, "Oh, we're coming after you." It takes forever.
Yeah, it takes
So
forever.
in at that time they have lived their life, they have done, their best. Yeah, you're hurting them still, but they're at the end of their life, basically.
Listen, I'm just hoping that P. Diddy or Sean or whatever, I'll just call him Sean. I hope that he was smart enough to have an offshore account in the Caymans or wherever where he put 90% of his money in so that at least his kids are financially okay, just in case he, goes away or goes to prison. Again, I'm of the what I don't understand, and I'm never going to understand it because I've never been in that life. So for
Mhm.
me, it's like all I want to do is just make enough money to be comfortable, right? That I don't have to worry about bullshit. I just want to pay my mortgage, pay my bills, and live my life and be in the house and
Mhm.
not fuck with anybody. If I have the mentality that I have and I am on Diddy's level or on Epstein's level or anybody's level that's like a close to a billionaire or a billionaire, you ain't never gonna see me. Everybody gonna know I exist, but I have at that point I have no desire especially let me go back to Diddy. With Diddy came up when he was like 20, 21 at
Mhm.
Uptown Records. So he had his entire life from 20, 30, 40 to party, hobnob with the rich and famous, have his thing. When he got to the status of damn near billionaire in his 40s and early at the age that he's at now, 50 something,
Mhm.
he should have just been like, you know what? I'm gonna let these young boys do what they do. These young people do what they do. I got my children,
Mhm.
and I'm going to now have my compound in Florida, in LA, in the Caribbean. And now I'm still gonna work and produce and do whatever I gotta do. But my black ass is going to be in my mansion at home. The parties that he used to throw, I'd be like, them parties is over. I've retired all that shit. I just want to live my nice, comfortable life and have my personal chef, my personal trainer up in my house, making sure that I'm healthy for the remaining 20, 30 years that I got left in my life. But no,
I I agree. I think that's
his ego, it ain't gonna let him do that.
and I think that's the difference between corrupt men who are corrupt from the soul on. It's like the more they get and the more they get away with, the more they try and the more that they do. They're never ever going to say, I'm satisfied. You can
No.
sit there and say, I'm satisfied with this life. I just want to do X, Y, and Z. He's not ever going to be satisfied. I wouldn't give up them parties either, but still, he's never going
Oh,
to be
them
satisfied.
parties will be the first ones to go for me because you know me. I'm like I want to be in bed by 6:30, 7 o'clock. No, I can't party hard like I did before. Sorry.
But it's it's just insane, the choices that he has decided to make. And like you said, he could have just gone on, and he could have had still everything that you mentioned. Just take the degradation of women out. Just take the misogyny out. Just take the abuse out. Just take all those things that make you a sick person and really get the therapy that you claim that you got. Let's listen to his apology. Let's just play it real quick. Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes. I'm gonna slap you.
I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. Disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab, and ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and he
And
says a little
that's
bit
it.
more, but that's it. Nothing.
But okay,
Go ahead,
so
dissect it. Go ahead.
let's have that same energy. Listen, what he said there was bullshit. He should have just shut his mouth and not even released the video. Because let's go back. I pulled it up. I'll send it to you. When Cassie had filed that lawsuit,
Mm-hmm.
and literally less than 24 hours later, he settled with her. And you know, I read it. I read the documents that when the lawsuit that she filed. It was online. I read it.
Mm-hmm.
The shit that she claims that he did to her, disgusting. I was disgusted. He settles with her not less than 24 hours later. And then not less than 24 hours later, he puts out this statement. Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. It's sick. Oh, wait a minute. These sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for my truth.
But you paid
That
her.
was a powerful statement.
But he
This
paid
was
her.
released. He released this statement after he settled with Cassie in November or December of 2023. So he made that powerful statement. He didn't, according to that statement, he's basically calling Cassie after he paid her. He's basically calling Cassie a gold digger looking for a payday without naming names. And then clearly, let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. Now the video comes out. Now it's on video. And now you want to release that sorry ass statement. Please. Listen. He's just sorry he got caught. Now, if he really wanted to save his ass, if I was a PR professional or an attorney for him, I would say, first of all, I would highly advise him, don't do a video, don't do an apology video, just shut your mouth and hide. That's, until we figure out what's coming down the pipe. Don't say nothing. But Diddy being Diddy, because he's a powerful man and his ego got the best of him, I'm pretty sure his handlers and his legal team was like, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. And he was like, fuck it. It's me. I'm Diddy. I'm Sean. I'm gonna do this. And he did it. And he looked stupid. He went off the cuff. Because that was not a scripted. This shit that I just read to you, that was written by his people. That shit you just played wasn't written by no professional. That was him being him and stupid.
Because the other one sounds just as stupid. You know why?
It sounded stupid, but it sounded a little bit more professional. That was something that I can see, like the average celebrity that goes through some legal shit
Mhm.
That's the generic statement they put
I
out.
can't imagine that his people wrote that, only because one, yeah, it does sound stupid, but you know what's out there. You just paid this woman all this money. You would not have paid this woman all this money if there was not something true in some of her allegations. Now, what gets me with Diddy is he made that apology. He didn't, again, he never mentioned Cassie. He never mentioned his family. He never mentioned his daughters. He didn't make an apology to anybody. It was all, look what's
Him.
happening to me, and I'm very sorry. You first listen to it, you're like, oh, he threw out all the hot names, the I'm in therapy, I turned to God, I
I
went to
hit rock
rehab.
bottom.
I don't ever remember him being in rehab, and usually that kind of stuff
Never.
leaks. But anyway, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. We're never going to know about the therapy. I don't believe he ever went anything. But the thing that
Same.
just kills me about this man, you knew that tape was out there. Now, I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, people were saying that in the raid, that's one of the things that they took out of the raid. I kind of don't believe that, but it's a possibility. But
I've heard that.
whatever the case is, we know that you did pay for the tape. So
Yes.
you knew it was out there somewhere, unless you paid for it and you destroyed your copy, thinking that somebody else destroyed the other copy. Because there would have to be copies, because somebody's looking for more than just one time payday from
Right.
that tape. You knew that tape was out there, and you still let that woman have to sue you, have to put everything in writing, and instead of just giving her the money up front and then trying to debt it, you let this all happen. So
Yep.
these people just want to be caught. And if you can say more, because I really want to hear about your opinion on the Kevin Spacey documentary, because I have just a little bit, because I couldn't watch it. But men like him and men like Diddy, their ego is so big. We said ego like 1,000 times, but I don't even think there's any more that you can say about their ego. But the fact that they get to a point where I think it's the excitement of getting caught, the excitement of living on that edge of the line and just doing what you want to do and not feel and having that power. That's what totally destroys them, because it makes no sense. It
That's the
makes
key.
no sense.
Listen to me. The key word is the power, because
Mhm,
it goes across. It's just not entertainment.
mhm.
You've got the Kevin Spaceys of the world. You've got the Diddy's of the world. You've got the Epstein's of the world. It
The
transcends.
Donald Trumps of the world. We
It
just heard
transcends
what he did.
all areas. You've got the political. You've got the the entertainment famous Hollywood people. You've got the business people. Okay? Because let's not get it twisted. When you look at the political aspect of it, it's like you got people like these 90-year-old people that are in their positions of power in Washington. And I'm looking at them like, you are a gazillionaire. Like you've been in office for like 50 years. Now that you're 80, because the way my mindset, if I could retire tomorrow, if I was in the entertainment business or the business or whatever or the political business where I was making all that kind of money and had all that power, I'm thinking when I turn a certain age, like now, I'm on the downslope of my life. Like at 50 something, 60, like all I want to do now is just kind of like retire. Like I don't want to go to work every day and work 19 hours a day. I got
Mhm.
enough money in the bank. My family is cool. I'm good for the next 25, 30 years of my life until I croak. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to luxuriate. I'm going to take my pension my guaranteed pension. I'm going to take the money that I've saved over these years, these millions and millions of dollars that I've saved, and now I'm going to go to my little Caribbean vacation home, and I'm going to lock it down, and I'm going to luxuriate there, and maybe come home, maybe come back to the States for, like, Thanksgiving, Christmas, spend time with the family, or have the family come out to my little island home and do that. It's a power trip on these
It's
people.
the power. It
These
definitely is the
people,
power.
it's not the money, it's not the clout, it is the power that these people have over other people, over other entities, that they're just not, they are not willing to give it up. They would die on the rail rather than retire. And we've seen it in the political realm. What's the old girl? What's that old white lady from the senator from California, from San Francisco, that just recently died? And they literally had to. Who?
Feinstein. I can't remember her first name.
And they literally rolled her ass out of the nursing home to do a vote, and she's like, basically Alzheimer's out of her mind, and she's like, "What am I doing here?" And they were like, "Just say yes." And she's like, "Okay, yes." And I'm saying to myself, that is problematic.
Yeah.
But they're not trying to give up that power. But anyway, I've digressed. All I'm going to say to this is, I don't feel sorry for Diddy. Because at the end of the day,
God, no.
Bro, you are in that position. That's all you.
You could have stopped yourself at any time. Anytime.
And I'm going to also throw all of his people that are around him. I'm going to go with his friends, his family members, his whole entourage that is around him, his lawyers, his accountants, whoever his people that works for him that's around him. They've all seen this.
Yep.
They've seen him, just because we've seen him for the first time literally drop kick Cassie in a hotel lobby or a hotel floor at the elevator. Trust me when I tell you, his people have seen this over and over again.
Can you imagine a man kicking you?
Can you imagine
a man
running, literally leaving your hotel room? And can you imagine being at the elevator and this motherfucker is running ass naked with a towel around his waist and snatches you by the neck?
I was yelling, "Girl, take the stairs. Take the stairs."
Girl, when I said that, was the first thing that came out of my mouth. And I'm like, why are you pressing the button?
I would not be waiting for no elevator.
Emergency door, emergency exit, and ran down them stairs. He wasn't going to be chasing you to the lobby.
He was going to chase her. He definitely was going to chase her. But you got a good head start on him by just going straight to the damn stairs. I would not be taking no elevator. If you in danger, do not wait on no elevator. Go to the stairs. Period.
Go, always take the stairs. Always. But I'm not trying to fault her, because look at here.
No, I'm not faulting her at all.
Because there are a lot of people out there that are laying blame on her too. But I look at it like this: when she met him, when she started working with him, she was 17. He was 37. She was a child.
Yeah.
So he basically groomed her.
I didn't realize she was that young, but you're right. I forgot she was that young. I thought she was 19. It doesn't matter, because in my opinion, 19 is.
Well, she could have been 19 when her song came out, but when
they got together,
when they first got together and he was working with her, she was 17.
That is horrible. Horrible. Anyway. All right, on to any more about this sick bastard?
No, I'm looking forward to see what comes of it, and what type of court case, or if he's going to go to jail. Listen, I'm nervous for all his people. This is why no one in the entertainment business have yet to come out to say nothing about him. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's going to wait to see, because no one's going to come out and talk ill against him. until after this if a court case happens. Because if he's found not guilty and people came out and talked about him or talked against him, he's gonna ruin him.
He could. I mean, come on, his life is. If he could bounce back after this video, I would love to see it. I would love to see anybody that says after, well, you know what? Let me not, because I was never more disappointed in Sierra than when she did that song with Chris Brown. Now, I'm just gonna say one thing about Chris Brown. When he did what he did to Rihanna, I was fully disgusted. Big fan of Rihanna, just as a young girl, whatever. But he was young too. So I said, after about a year of just being totally pissed, you know what? Hopefully his family, his core group have gotten him some help. Maybe, to get him out of that space. He has not changed. So 2 years after what he did, he still did not sound like a man who had humbled himself at all. So, in my opinion, he's still trash because he still does the same thing. And when Sierra went and did that song with him not too long ago, I haven't listened to one of her songs in a while lately. Purely disgusted.
It's going to have to take people that are in that business. They're still going to thrive regardless. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. If R. Kelly got out of prison tomorrow and started making some bangers, people are going to buy his music and people are going to listen to him.
There will
and
be.
People are going
He
to
will
go to
have
his
a base.
concert. It's going to take, even if Diddy, whether Diddy is found not guilty or found guilty or in the court of law and then goes to prison, it's not up to the entertainment business to take him down. It's going to be up to the regular people like us that are going to be like, you know what? Yeah, we're not okay with that. So we're not going to buy your music. We're not going to watch your shows. We're not going to go, if you do a tour or if you're producing some artist and that artist goes on tour and you just happen to be there, we're not going to support that. It's going to have to take, like with anything, it's going to have, like politics, like business, it's going to have to take us regular people to be like, I don't condone that, and therefore I'm not supporting that. Meaning, I'm not supporting it by I'm not watching your videos, I'm not watching your shows, I'm not watching your network, I'm not buying your music, I'm not going to your concert. And herein lies the problem, because the average American person is going to be like, well, I can get past that because I like that song and now I want to go see it.
Wow. Well, ma'am, tell us about Kevin Spacey. Because before you start about Kevin Spacey, let me let everyone know why I did not watch it. I love Kevin Spacey. I think he is a brilliant actor. I mean, there is not too many things that he has been in that I haven't thought that, he deserves all the flowers, all the accolades. He's just a brilliant actor. So when the allegations first came out against him, I was not even so much with Diddy. I think because there were so many like rumors going around with Diddy, even though I didn't hear a lot of them, but with Kevin Spacey, you heard nothing. And then all of a sudden it was just like a barrage. So I watched the first 7 to 8 minutes, and I think it was a young man. He was talking about he was an extra. He was, on House of Cards, and I love both versions of House of Cards, but the one with Kevin Spacey blows the English version out of the water. My favorite scene ever was when he was at the train station and he pushed that mistress into the train. That was the most badass move I've ever seen. He ate that role, ate it. And when he was gone, it was never the same. So watching that man say how he just grabbed him by the penis during a cut in the scene, I'm like, and it was unwanted. He was had a girlfriend, had talked to him about, why would you do that? Why would you put your hands on somebody when you could have had anybody you wanted? You had the best career. So go ahead and just disappoint me further and tell me how awful this documentary was. And if I start crying, it's not like I'm crying for this man. I'm just crying for the talent that we lost.
Thank you. Because I wholeheartedly agree with you. Because you couldn't, listen to me. Before all this came out, you couldn't tell me nothing about Kevin Spacey negatively, because I would come to blows with you. I would be like, we're going to have to go outside and fight this out, because can't nobody touch Kevin Spacey. Nobody. The
Brilliant.
Usual Suspects. Let me tell you when I fell in love with Kevin Spacey. This is when I kind of,
I
my
know what you're going to
brain
say.
kind of went. When I watched this movie, I was like, Kevin Spacey is kind of playing this role a little bit too damn good.
With
Which
the
made
southern
me
accent.
like,
Did he have a southern accent in this one too?
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've seen that movie like 15 times. I fell in love with Kevin Spacey in that movie, so much so that I went to Savannah, Georgia. I literally was working and was, at the time, I was traveling a lot for the company that I was working for.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the opportunity to travel to Savannah. No one wanted to go to Savannah to do this job. And I was like, I'll take it. Because I was like, I'm going to Savannah because I'm going to be there for a week. And I purposely booked my hotel right downtown where all of the, the waterfront and the parks and the cemeteries and all that shit where the movie was shot. I
Mm-hmm.
legit went to every area of where that movie was shot because I loved Kevin Spacey and I love that goddamn movie. And I love the city. I would have never ever visited the city of Savannah or even blinked at the city of Savannah, Georgia, if not for that movie. And I still to this day love the city of Savannah.
I love
One of my
Savannah too.
favorite cities, one of my favorite cities in the country. It's in my top 5. But
Mm-hmm.
so you talked about old boy from House of Cards that he
Mm-hmm.
violated. You think that's bad?
Oh, the
Oh, you
worst.
didn't watch the whole thing.
No, I did not.
Oh, child.
Oh God, you got notes.
So after he won his second Oscar, he went to London, to the West End,
Mm-hmm.
and was doing, I forgot the name of the place. I forgot the name of the theater that it was like a really popular theater in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him to come out there to do some workshops to get this theater back up. And Elton John worked with him on that.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did is he went out there and he started doing these acting workshops. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, all these young actors, they've got that in their head. Now I've got the opportunity to work with fucking Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna go work with Kevin fucking Spacey. If I was, I'd do the same thing.
And I
So,
try my best to see if I can sleep with Kevin Spacey.
right? So they're in a circle. There's one particular scene. One of the guys was like, "We're in a circle in this workshop," and he's like, we're all running lines and stuff, and then at the end of the workshop, Kevin Spacey comes up to me and is like, I like I like how you projected yourself, whatever. Why don't you come back to my hotel? He's like, I'm working on a script, and why don't you come back to my hotel and run some lines with me? And the guy was like, this guy was like maybe in his 20s, but the guy was like so like starstruck because he's like, this is Kevin fucking Spacey.
Inviting
So
me to his room to run
inviting me
lines.
to his hotel to run lines. He's like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that I get to run lines with a 2-time leading male Oscar winner. Anyone would have jumped at the chance. If this was your passion to be an actor, I would have done it. Anyone would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I get up to his room. He's like, I go to his room and he's in a bathrobe.
Flag number 1. Go ahead.
And then he's like, I go in and he's like, oh, let's run some lines. He was like, I'm so excited to run some lines. He's like, and Kevin Spacey's just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And basically drops trowel and starts going in on this dude. And the dude's like, wait, come out. What's going on here? So the guy leaves. He's like, I'm not gay. He's like, I told him, I'm not gay. Like, this is not how this works. I'm not gay. And he left. But shades of Baby Reindeer. Remember? You keep coming back. Like when we talked about Baby Reindeer, it's like if that happened the first time, and then you talk to him again, and he's like, "Okay, well, come back. I'm having a party or whatever. Stay the fuck home. Like, don't go, because this man is not. This man, you know what this man is about." So again, the second time, he's like, he sends me a note, and then he's like, "I'm having a party. Come, all these industry people are going to be here. I want to introduce you to this person and that person and maybe get you some jobs in Hollywood, bring you over to California and da.
Can I say one thing? I'm stupid too, because I know where this is probably going. If he had sent me a note that he wanted to introduce me to other Hollywood or just, executives or whatever, I probably would have gone, because I've been like, this is his way of apologizing for what he did. Please continue.
That is true. And you know what? That you're absolutely right on that one. So again, he goes back to his hotel. Ain't nobody there. Ain't no party happening.
Damn it.
And he's like, I can't believe that I fell for that. You know what I mean?
I would have fell for it too.
Yeah, we all would have fell for it. Then there was another instance.
Did he go in though?
He went in, and then Kevin Spacey was kind of like, again, grab assing and doing the whole nine. And he's like, you know what? I can't do this. And he said he left. And he knew, he's like, I knew right then and there. He's like, I wasn't going to report him. He's like, because I knew my career would be dead. But then there's another guy that met him at the workshop and then went to some grand opening that they had. It's like the grand opening, like they have like the Oscars, the red carpet events and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, how is no one seeing this? Again, this is what I'm thinking. Everybody sees everything, but everybody turns a blind eye to shit. And so this guy was like, I got invited to this red carpet affair. And he's like, I show up. Kevin Spacey didn't invite him. He got invited to this red carpet affair, but he was part of that round table thing at the theater and the workshop. So he goes to the red carpet and he's like, oh Jesus, I see Kevin Spacey there. He's like, and we meet eyes. He's like, and then Kevin Spacey's like, oh hey, come over. He's like, so he comes over. He's like, I went over to say hi to Kevin Spacey, and he's like, Kevin Spacey literally brought me in. I see you. He's like, Kevin Spacey literally like shook my hand and like brought me in, like dragged me in. And he's like, he took his finger and literally went on his bum with his pants. He had his pants on and he had his tux or whatever, and literally dug his finger up that man's anus in front of everybody. The camera was popping, but they were facing the cameras, so nobody's behind them to see that. And he's like, I couldn't believe what just happened. He's like, and I was like, what the hell's going on? He's like, and I had to just walk away like, wait a minute. And I'm saying to myself, all them handlers and publicists, I've seen my share of red carpets, and there's like a bazillion people around it. Nobody saw that man put his finger up your ass. It's crazy.
Did it?
Then, one of the things, I gotta keep going.
One more. That's it. That's all I can take, man.
One more of the story. One other guy was like, Kevin Spacey was driving him around in LA, and they're in the car. And this guy's like, I'm telling him I'm not gay. Like, I'm good. And Kevin Spacey's like, okay, well, whatever. And he's driving him around, and then he whips out his penis, like, suck my dick. And this guy actually, I'm saying to myself, what is it about? The way my mentality is I don't know if I could ever be in a position to want to be that famous, that relevant, or that rich that I would be willing even to have a discussion with myself in my head to say, maybe I'll just suck his dick and keep it moving. And let me get this role. Because that's what that guy said on camera. He was like, I literally was like, I'm not gay, but I'm going to try to suck his dick.
Why is he hitting on men that are not gay? That's what just blew my mind. There are so many gay men that you could definitely have. Why are you hitting on men that are not gay? So it's the fucking chase.
It's the same, exactly. It's the same, like, back to Diddy. It's like, why are you with these women and treating them so bad when there are women out there, professional women, that you can just pay them? There are services out there. If you want to drop kick a bitch in the belly or pop her in the jaw because you want to just get your rocks off, or like Kevin Spacey, you want to jam your finger up a man's ass on a red carpet, or take a drive and tell that man to suck your penis, there are agencies out there. And I'm sure, there are prostitutes out there, but I'm sure for the rich, the really rich and famous and powerful, there are black market organizations where they could just be like, beep, 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 on speed dial. I need somebody that I can just punch in the face every once in a while. Or I need somebody that I can take them on a drive and they can suck my dick while I'm driving on the fucking 405. Trust me, there are people out there that will be willing to be paid to be abused like that.
How did it end?
That's not what they want. Like you said, they want the chase.
How did it end?
It was only 2 episodes. So it was basically the shit that he did here in America, and then when he went over to England. It ended where they focused on all the court cases that he had, that he beat. He was found innocent on all of them.
Yeah.
They did. One thing I was surprised at, they didn't touch upon, remember the boy here in Boston and Nantucket, that was the son of the Channel 5 anchor.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to touch, they didn't even touch that. It was all about the only people they interviewed. I'm thinking maybe they might have reached out to him, but he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I think his mother had a lot of influence in that too, because there was conversation that it was consensual.
Yes.
And the mother found out about it and flipped out.
And
so
remember,
that's probably why they left it out.
Yeah, and remember when it got to court, it was thrown out
because
the mother, I think you're right, the mother realized it was Gail Huff. That was his mother. I think it was Gail Huff. That I don't want to lie. but I'm pretty sure it was her that said, you know what, we're not going to take this to court. And they just was like, we're just going to go home.
So did
So
they get a payout or
it
anything,
never
or
went to
you don't know?
trial. So it never went to trial, and it wasn't like it went to trial and he was found not guilty. It just never got to court.
Yeah, they dropped it. And
Yeah, but the
there's a
other
reason.
cases that
Yeah.
went to court, he was found innocent on
On
all
all
of
of them?
all of them. And
That's
the only
interesting.
reason why we don't see him is because apparently when Netflix dropped him, apparently he owed Netflix like $30 million. Netflix sued his ass, I guess, for like a breach of contract or whatever, with all these
Really?
allegations. And
Uh-huh.
because they showed the documents, and he apparently owed them like $30 million. So
I would be like, I'm not paying you. All of these cases, I was found innocent. I want my money back.
yeah,
I'm not paying you a damn thing. You should have waited until the trial was over. But you know what? He's disgusting. Let me not even get because I'm just those couple of stories that you told me. I can't even wrap my mind around it again because you had everything laid out for you. There was no reason for any of that. So you could have went on Grinder. You would have had some. You could have did what Gerard does. Go online, say, "Come over. This is what I want done." Easy peasy.
well, we can't compare Gerard to Kevin Spacey and
Why? Why
Diddy.
can't you say you
Well, I
want
mean,
a
as
certain
far as
thing?
the power,
Yeah,
Gerard ain't on
that's the
their level.
problem. But that's what I'm
Gerard
saying.
ain't on their level as far as fame and as far as power.
But I'm
That's why
saying this.
Gerard is doing that shit now.
But that's my point. You know, if you want to have some decadent sex, there are people, strangers or whatever, that you can have decadent sex with,
I
and
agree.
that's what they consent to. So it doesn't have to be somebody, somebody that you're working with, a subordinate. I mean, you
Again, it's all about the power and the control.
yeah, it is.
Because
It's
one of the
ridiculous.
comments that Kevin Spacey, one of the guys said that Kevin Spacey said to him was, you know, if I'm going to, basically, Kevin Spacey said to basically all these guys, if
Mhm.
I'm going to introduce you to influential people and help you get roles, you have to pay the toll. That's the comment in Hollywood. You have to pay the toll.
I have
And the
nothing.
toll is you gotta degrade yourself for me,
Get on them knees.
with me or
Get
for
on them
me.
knees.
Get on your knees. You know, it's like the casting couch. You got to degrade yourself and humiliate yourself for me. I will make you a superstar, and then you're going to own me.
Did any of them who said yes become a superstar though? Not one.
None of them. Not a one, because all of them were so traumatized. They
Were they?
needed like years of therapy, and there was one that was like, I was done with the entertainment business. He was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to work in this. I don't want to work in this industry if this is what it's about. And he had issues with alcoholism and drug abuse. I mean, this is this kind of shit that fucks up people's lives forever. It's just terrible.
Yeah, it is.
And
Well, let's
yeah,
just jump
how
into.
it ended was it
Uh-huh.
just showed him not being found guilty on any of the cases.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned by
And
that.
it ended the last scene was the guys talking about, you know, what their lives are like now, which none of
Mhm.
them are working in the industry.
Mhm.
And it ended where it had a comment, like a graphic came up where it was like, Kevin Spacey declines, you know, just states that none of this was true and yada, yada,
Mhm.
yada, 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 you know, the typical PR statement.
Mhm.
But that was that.
Yeah.
But
Well.
if you ever get an opportunity, or you're able to stomach it, trust me, it was a hard watch, because like you couldn't tell me nothing about Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
But then when you watch it, it's like watching him as an actor, it's wonderful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then here now this documentary's out, and now they're showing clips of him when he's giving interviews and stuff. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like Diddy, there's nothing behind the eyes. It's like you look at him in his eyes when he's talking to you, and it's like he's dead behind his eyes. There's no
But did
emotion.
you think that then? Because I watched him in
No.
interviews before, and I'm like, he was lively, he was funny, he had and his eyes showed expression to me. So, are you saying that now in hindsight?
Yeah, because maybe back then I wasn't looking at him like that. I was just
Mhm.
I'm not
So
trying
your
to
perception
analyze
has
him.
just changed. It
Yeah, you
doesn't
know, for
mean that
me,
he changed.
yeah, I wasn't trying to analyze him. When I saw him on 60
Mhm.
Minutes, I just wanted to see what his life was like. I wasn't
Mhm.
when they were up close with him, I wasn't trying to analyze him and looking dead ass in his eyes. But
Mhm.
now when I'm watching this documentary and they were playing old excerpts of all the interviews that he'd done, and I'm like, wow, in hindsight, they're really he's just there's nothing there. It's he's always in character. Like you don't really know who the real Kevin Spacey is. And they interviewed his brother on the documentary too. His family life was fucked up. That's all I got to say. You need to watch that shit.
Well, what was it? No, girl, don't you do that to me. Like, what do you mean?
His father was a fucking Nazi sympathizer. He had Nazi shit in the house while they were growing up. Nazi, he was like all about Hitler and the whole Nazi thing, thinking the Holocaust wasn't real.
Uh-huh.
Kevin Spacey has a brother, his older brother, and his brother, when his brother showed up on the screen, I'm assuming they don't talk or they don't have a relationship, but his brother is like eccentric. He looks like an old washed up Rod Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently the father used to sexually assault the oldest brother, and the
Mm-hmm.
mother knew about it and turned a blind eye and beat the
Maybe
shit
he
out of him.
assaulted Kevin too.
He could have, but when they were talking to the brother was like, I left. He's like, when I was like 20 or 19 or 20, he's like, I left. He's like, and I felt bad because I left Kevin there. He's like, but I
He
told
more
my
than
father.
likely turned it on him.
He probably could have. Or I'm thinking Kevin is more like his father, unlike the brother.
Because his father probably raped them.
Maybe, or he could just be a monster like his father, and he could have just inherited that in genes. Yeah, we will never know because Kevin Spacey ain't never gonna come out and say it.
He
But the
will.
brother didn't know
If he
if he
think he
was.
could win him some sympathy, he'll tell the story.
Yeah, I think it's over for Kevin Spacey. I don't think in
I
our
don't
lifetime we'll
know.
ever see. I don't think Kevin Spacey is ever going to recover from this. Mm-mm. I hope he saves
I think
someone.
because he won every case, I think there is wiggle room for him to come back. I think there is.
Maybe in a independent. If
Mhm.
it's, I don't think he'll be able to come back to like a Netflix or like any of the major
Like
movie
no,
movie industry
he could blow up
studios.
a good Netflix. I mean, a good independent movie.
Yes, I think if somebody that's like an up and coming writer or director, that's like, you know what, I'll work with them, and
They
it's
worked
a
with
good script.
what's his name? Mel Gibson. I mean, it wasn't rape or anything like that, but he went off on like crazy tangents. I thought nobody was ever going to touch him again.
Yeah,
It is. I don't know. I
listen,
probably won't watch it. That one, yeah, that one
it
hit
was
me.
tough. It was a tough watch, especially because, like you said, both of us really, really liked him and
Yeah.
really thought. I mean, he was literally top two actors of all time, as far as I'm
Mhm.
concerned. You couldn't tell me nothing about no Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
I watched that. That's the only reason why I watch House of Cards. That's the reason why I got Netflix when Netflix first came out, was because of House of Cards, because of Kevin Spacey.
Really? Yeah. It did make Netflix though. House of Cards was one
Yes,
of those shows that definitely made
it made
Netflix what
Netflix
it is. That show was it was just
everything.
brilliant.
And
It was
like you said,
brilliant.
when he pushed that, my inner sociopath When he pushed that bitch onto the subway tracks in front of her and he just walked away, I was like,
and nobody was expecting it. No,
nobody
because
was
you know what?
expecting it.
When a mistress starts threatening your lifestyle, you got to get rid of that hoe. And
Go.
she,
And listen to me, the inner sociopath in me, when he pushed her, I was sitting up and I was like, yes, that's what you're supposed to do. Bitch,
in a
you finna shut
movie,
your mouth.
in a movie,
That's right. Well, in a movie, yes.
a
In
movie.
a movie. Because I'm in a show, in a scripted,
If I'm
fictional
gonna write
show.
it, that's how I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna write it like that, not you cowering to the mistress. Hell no, bitch. No, you ain't got me like that. I
We're
got
going to
you.
be on them train tracks.
You want to meet me? No, you don't. But okay. That
Okay,
I
yeah.
love that scene. I love
Oh,
that scene.
man,
And how
I
he
love
would
that
like
thing. I loved everything about that damn show.
when he
Every
would look at
episode.
the camera and he'd talk to you and he'd tell you what
Right?
his play was.
And then you had that ring. I wanted to go buy me a ring just so if I was in a meeting or a conference call, I could be like, okay, that was
I
some
forgot
gangster
about that.
shit.
I forgot about
That
that.
was gangster shit. I was like, I can go buy me a big ass ring. So when I'm talking to people, even in my family, my friends, whoever, I'm having a conversation. I'll be like, okay, we're done here. Let's go. You couldn't tell me nothing about that man.
No, we could not. No, that was
And here
excellent
we are.
acting. That's just unfortunate.
Mhm.
Unfortunate. Well, with that, we have run out of time.
Yes, we have.
And we were supposed to recap Gerard Carmichael, the last episode, which was very good. I have a different sort of respect for him now. I still think he's an a-hole, but I do like him. I like him. You know, I'd like to sit down and have a conversation because he does need to work some things out. He needs
Yes.
to work out a lot of things, but it was a good show. Anything else you want to say?
All I'm gonna say to that before we end is his friend, his little masked friend that
Yeah.
was talking to him. I agreed with him. He's like, why the fuck would you do this? Like in a show
Yeah.
setting. He's like, this is just crazy. And I agreed with his friend on that.
Mm-hmm.
I also you know, I he needs to give like I said, I'm not saying that his mother is correct, but at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, he needs to give his mother a little bit of grace. She's working with him. She's showing up. Like she showed up to New York to visit her son, knowing that his boyfriend is going to be there. She's going to be in
Mm-hmm.
his house with his boyfriend. So here's my thing. I don't have to agree with everything that you do or
Mm-hmm.
everything that you say or how you live your life.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, whatever, bisexual, whatever. What I don't like with him is the fact that he has to ram it down your throat
He
every
does.
fucking minute that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that.
Why
I'm
would you say
in
to
the
your
big person.
mother about sucking somebody's penis? Why would you say that, knowing that she's a church going woman? Why would you do that? So it was
See,
like
when he tells her, it's like he reels her in, and then he's
mm-hmm.
like, "Gotcha!" Like he's like, "So you're having a good time?" And she gets to his apartment, and she's, "Oh wow, you're living big." Da 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 da. And then and take the compliment,
Mm-hmm.
take it, take the knowledge that your mother is proud of you, of
Mm-hmm.
what you've accomplished, and then you have to literally just say, I'm going to invite my boyfriend. What if I have sex with my boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Yeah.
kiss my boyfriend. I'm going to do this
Mm-hmm.
with my boyfriend. Knowing that it makes your mother uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop throwing it in her face. That's what I don't like about him. Because,
Yeah.
listen,
100%. But he
there,
said in his comedy, he said something about one part of him wants to like embrace her and love her, and the other part of him like hates her. I got to go back and see that scene, but it was very powerful, and you could see it because one minute he's just like, my mama, I love you, but because she's not totally accepting, he wants to fight her over that. And you just can't do it. There has to be a happy medium. But the very end, when they're rolling the credits, they go down there and they visit, and it's a surprise visit, and they seem to have found a peaceful place. The mother's in the kitchen with the boyfriend. I really love the way it ended, and I hope that they have gotten past it. And a lot of it is on him more than it is on his family.
Absolutely.
So,
That's on him because
yeah.
I agree with you on that one. That it's mostly on him. And that's all I got to say because I could
He need
keep
to
on
get that
going.
sex thing under control, because just the whole randomness and always feeling that you need to be with somebody, that's a problem. That's a problem. But
Yeah.
until next time,
Well, I
people.
feel like he's trying to catch
Oh,
up. That's all. I think he said it
come
before. Like
on.
I'm trying to make up. I think he said it in a couple of episodes past that he's trying to make up for all the time that he's missed
That's
because
childish.
he always knew he was gay. But I'm like, that's no excuse.
That's not with random people. You just grinding out people. It's just unhygienic.
It's unhygienic and it's tacky. It's just
And it's
tacky at this
tacky.
stage of our lives.
It's
Just
just
stop,
ugh.
bro.
Well, anyway, that is it for us. Have a great week, and we will be back next Monday. This one I am definitely putting out tonight. It's just
Yeah.
going to be late. It's just
And
going to
I
be
know
late.
it's a Sunday fun day hat, but Sunday was yesterday, but whatever, it's a hat.
Good night.
All right, y'all. Peace
Until
out.
next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Yo.